Hello, good day and welcome to this session on production logistics. By the end of this session, we should be able to state the three main areas of logistics, as well as define production logistics and list the most important optimization aspects of production logistics. And finally, explain the push, pull, and tight flows of production logistics. When we talk about logistics, it basically comprises activities of moving goods within a supply chain, or the activities that facilitate the movement of materials within a supply chain, where goods move from suppliers to manufacturers and then eventually to customers. And logistics plays a key role in this movement of materials. Hence, in order for logistics, the goal of logistics to be achieved, there has to be coordination and integration between actors in the supply chain. And it should be noted that logistics is mainly concerned with the movement of real tangible assets that provide benefits to the customer and integrate them into the core logistics functions of transport, transfer, and storage. Materials management is the aspect of logistics which is related to the movement of materials within a given focal firm. That is, after goods or after raw materials are being brought from suppliers into the manufacturing firm, materials handling or materials management is the aspect which describes the movement of goods into the firm, into the manufacturing firm, until they are converted into finished products to be made available to customers. So material management is that aspect of the supply chain which has to be done effectively, or it is that aspect of logistics which has to be done effectively, because the outcomes for materials management will affect the customer satisfaction that is gotten or provided to customers at the end. So logistics is seen as a cross-sectional function because it interfaces with the primary functional business areas such as acquisition, production, and sales. So the three functional areas of logistics include basically procurement logistics, production logistics, and distribution logistics. Procurement logistics is that aspect of the logistics function that is concerned with acquiring materials and supplies that are necessary for the organization's operations. So procurement logistics is concerned with the acquisition part of logistics management. And then production logistics is concerned with the conversion aspect or the materials management aspect of logistics, where goods are managed and converted within a manufacturing or a focal firm till the end product is provided to distributors. Then comes the production logistics, which is concerned with movement of goods as and when customer orders is triggered. So distribution entails the physical movement from the manufacturing facility to customers, and it is based on customer orders. So let's have a look at production logistics. As we have discussed earlier, it describes or it comprises the planning and control of internal logistics processes in the realm of production. It goes on to include provision planning for the required raw materials and supplies on procurement logistics side, and transport of finished products for the distribution logistics aspect. So production logistics, if you take a simple supply chain which has suppliers, a focal firm, and customers, we could say that production logistics is the aspect of logistics which takes place in the focal firm, and it can only be achieved when interactions or logistics between suppliers and the focal firm are effectively done, as well as interactions or logistics activities between the focal firm and distributors or customers are effectively done. Production logistics centrally controls goods movement with the goal of ensuring optimal operations as well as cost savings for the organization. In doing so, organizations have to achieve optimum aspects, which include 1. Targeting improvement in sales order-driven production with a reduction of lead times. So production logistics has to be undertaken efficiently and effectively as much as possible so that the lead time or the time taken to make goods available to customers is reduced as much as possible, because delays in delivering products lead to the dissatisfaction of customers. Another aspect is increasing the flexibility of general production with an improved overview of alternative production options. This helps to ensure that all the time goods are made available to customers as and when they require, because organizations cannot have excuse as to delays in making products available to customers when they are competitors. Customers would obviously move to competitors when organizations fail to deliver goods to customers as and when required. Hence, organizations have to constantly look for means of making goods available to customers, even to the extent that they need to have a backup plan or a backup production option, so that if one fails, then they utilize the other. Another aspect is reducing lead times in general production through timely provision of production materials or a reduction of internal production logistics procedures at a timely removal of produced products. Furthermore, you have to reduce inventory through proper planning of the required production materials at the respective sites, because in order to achieve optimum levels of production, inventory is cost and would add up to the overheads or costs of operations of the manufacturing facility. Therefore, you have to reduce inventory as much as possible so as to achieve efficiency. You also have to optimize transport routes within the production areas and between production stages, because transportation is characterized by handling, and handling is also characterized by multiple accidents or unexpected uncertainties. Therefore, you have to reduce or have optimum transportation movement routes so as to reduce the tendency of damage or accidents from extended transport routes. You have to also reduce the number of production result variants and the diversity of production materials. This is concerned with the reduction of defects in production outcomes. You have to reduce defects as much as possible so that goods made available to customers are what they require. You have to coordinate production batch sizes with internal transport and warehouse logistics, as well as sensibly combine in-house production with external procurement. That is, you have to decide whether you are making or buying, whether you are outsourcing or you are manufacturing goods yourself. In a production logistics, there are certain workflows that are present in a typical production logistics. One of them is the push flow production. With the push flow production, goods are made available to customers based on the internal competencies of the manufacturing firm. So the manufacturing firm considers what they are capable of doing, and then they make goods available to customers. It is not goods are made available based on economies of scale capabilities of the manufacturing firm. Hence, physical flows and information flows go in the same direction, that is, from upstream to downstream. So the organization determines their internal capabilities, then makes goods and services available to customers. So unlike the push flow production, the pull flow, however, is characterized by making goods available to customers based on their demand. So in this instance, information flows upwards while goods are made available downwards. And goods are mostly made to customers' customization or to their specification, because it is based on what customers want. Prior to this, we know that there is no clear-cut organization that has either a pull flow or a push flow. So organizations are either having a blend of the two. or they are having an equilibrium or achieving a balance between the two, and that is called a customer order decoupling point or delay differentiation. Then we move on to the third production logistics workflow, which is the tight flow production, which is characterized by just in time. So the aim is to minimize inventory and adapt production to demand. It has similarities with the pull flow production. So in the end, we've seen the definition of production logistics as well as five most important aspects, optimization aspects of production logistics. And we've also seen pull, push, and tight flows of production logistics.